Welcome back, students. We are dealing with the chapter 7 evolution, and this is the fifth video. So, till now, we have studied the synthesis of simple organic compounds. So, next, after the formation of simple organic compounds, now these simple compounds itself gave rise to the complex organic compounds. So, next was the formation of complex organic compounds. So, this hot dilute soup, as I told you, it was sterile, but the organic molecules present in it, in this soup or dilute soup, so there were many organic molecules. They all came together, that is, they all aggregated and it went on increasing in number. That is, there was continuous formation of these organic compounds. Yes, so these compounds now they started to colloid with each other. They started showing many different chemical reactions and they aggregated with each other. Aggregated in the sense what? They combined. Yes, so when many such molecules combine, what happens? Simple molecule, it forms complex molecules. Yes, is it clear? So simple molecules, they combined together undergoing many reactions forming complex molecules. So now in that sea water or those water bodies, what is present now? Initially we told monosaccharides are there, but now all those sugar units combined forming the polysaccharides. Then you had seen there were amino acids. So those amino acids combined forming proteins. Then you had seen fatty acids were there. Those fatty acids combined forming the fats. Then children, there were purines and pyrimidines. I hope you remember the biomolecules, DNA, RNA you have studied. So those purines and pyrimidines, they combined forming the nucleosides and nucleotides. Okay, students, now in this sea water or in these water bodies, you could see that there was formation of what? Monosaccharides, that is sugars, proteins, fats mainly. Yes, so how did these proteins were formed? They were formed by polymerization of amino acids. As I told you, many different reactions went on taking place. So protein formation, how did it take place? By polymerization of amino acids. That is, many amino acids combined together. How? By peptide bond. Remember, amino acids are combined by peptide bond. So, chain of amino acids, they gave rise to the proteins. Yes. So now, why the formation of proteins is significant, I'll tell you. Because these proteins, they showed enzymatic reactions. This also, if you remember, if you recall biomolecules, you have studied about enzymes, students. So you know enzymes are nothing but proteins. Yes. So till now there were no proteins, hence there was no enzymes. Now proteins have formed, so some of those proteins start acting like enzymes. And you know what is the function of enzymes, right? They accelerate the reaction. Yes, so students, now the reactions went on taking place vigorously because of the presence of enzymes. Yes, so these proteins which were formed initially were called as protoproteins. Remember, proto in the sense primitive or the first formed. For example, protozoa, you tell proto means first formed. So these were the first formed proteins. Okay, so they showed enzymatic reactions. So you have studied the enzymatic reactions. The enzyme helps the substrate or binds with the substrate, giving rise to the products. right? So here, due to this enzymatic nature, now you can see that these proteins, they accelerated or they started to increase the rate of chemical reactions. So students, this formation of protein molecules is considered to be a landmark in the origin of life, right? Because there was increase in the chemical reactions. So now complex molecules have formed. So proteins, students, it is one of the basic unit of life. Yes, so formation of this proteins is a much significant step in the origin of life. Got it? So after the formation of this complex organic compounds, so you have studied simple organic compounds were formed. What are simple organic compounds? That is the sugars, amino acids, fatty acids, purines, pyrimidines. They are simple compounds. Yes, so they combined with each other forming complex compounds, like sugar units combined forming polysaccharides, amino acids combined forming proteins, fatty acids combined forming fats. Now what was the next step, students? That is the formation of nucleic acids. So here they were formed by aggregation of, what are nucleic acids made up of? You have studied two types of nucleic acids, that is ribose nucleic acid and deoxyribonucleic acid. Yes, so nucleic acids are mainly made up of sugars, then they have purines, pyrimidines and phosphoric acid. Yes, so the nucleic acids, they mainly consist of the sugar, either purine or pyrimidines, and the phosphoric acid. Yes, so they went on aggregating all these three different compounds. They went on aggregating or combining with each other, and they were linked in various combinations to form different types of nucleotides. Okay, so there are different types of purines and pyrimidines like adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. Yes, so they went on combining in various combinations forming the nucleotides. So remember, these together form nucleotides. Yes, so chain of nucleotides, that is thousands of nucleotides, they joined together. Then what happened? There was formation of nucleic acid. Okay, so now one significance of this nucleic acid, what? It has the property of self-replication. So they have the ability to self-replicate. So this is one of the fundamental property of living forms. Yes, children, so formation of nucleic acid was another significant step in the formation of life. So now, next was the formation of protobiont or pre-cells. I'll tell you what is this protobiont or pre-cell. Now the nucleic acid which was formed along with the other molecules such as might be the inorganic or the organic molecules, they all started to combine together. Okay, so they formed the first form of life now, that is the nucleic acid. As I told you, it might be the RNA or the DNA, anything. The nucleic acid with other molecules which were together formed, all these started to combine together, and that was called to be the first form of life. Okay, so or it is also named as the protobiont or pre-cell. So proto means first, biont, bio means life. So that was the first form of life, pre-cell. So children, it was not actually the cell. Got it? It is not the cell actually, it is the pre-cell. That is, they are the precursors of the present day cell. Okay, that is, those are the primitive type of cell which was formed, you can call it as, because there was not still formation of other cell organelles and all, only nucleic acid is present and all the chemicals, that is organic or inorganic molecules, all those together they aggregated. Okay, so these proteins formed the colloidal hydrophilic complexes. Okay, so that is, they, as I told you, they all combined together. That is the nucleic acid, it combined with the other molecules, so they formed the colloids, or they were hydrophilic complexes which were formed. Yes, so these compounds which were formed now, it was called as the coacervates. Oparin called them as coacervates. Okay, or they are also called as proteinoids or microspheres by another scientist called as Sidney Fox. Remember, Oparin called the pre-cells as coacervates or the protobionts as coacervates, or they were also called as proteinoids or microspheres by Sidney Fox. So students, so this is how the pre-cell was formed. Now how did this give rise to the first cell? Okay, so next is the formation of first cell. The nucleic acids now in the pre-cell, right, it showed two main important properties, right? So what were those? One thing is that it has the capacity to self replicate, right? They could undergo replication. Then another one was that they had the property to direct chemical reactions. So these were the two important properties of the pre-cell which was formed. What was the first one? The first one was that they had the capacity to self-replicate. Then another one is that they had the capacity of directing a series of chemical reactions. For example, protein synthesis. So these pre-cells, they could perform protein synthesis. They could synthesize the proteins. How? So you know, DNA is present there. It is nothing but the nucleic acid is present. Yes. So this nucleic acid now, it gave rise to the RNA. Then that is the ribose nucleic acid. This later on gave rise to the proteins. Okay, so like this, many reactions went on taking place. So that was the significant step in the transformation of pre-cell into a cell. So this is how the transformation took place. Okay, so now we could see that the pre-cell which was formed, what is that pre-cell? It is nothing but the nucleic acid and other molecules. It transformed into the present day cell. Okay, so this is how the first life was formed. Got it, students? So this chemical evolution, till now what you have studied now? Chemicals. Yes, so from chemicals you could see that the biological evolution took place. That is, the evolution of life came into existence. So how did this biological evolution take place? So now students, how did this first cell form? The first cell was marine in nature. So you know, because all these reactions were taking place in the water bodies, and they were also heterotrophic. Why? Because they did not have those raw materials which were required for photosynthesis. Okay, so here these pre-cells, the first formed cells, they went on multiplying continuously, because they had the capacity of replication. So they went on multiplying, they obtained food from the surroundings, and their growth and multiplication, it led to the depletion of food, because they are growing continuously but there are no autotrophs. Yes, so that led to the depletion of food as well as increase in carbon dioxide. So here fermentation was also taking place. Why? Because these cells, as they die, they were decomposing. So that fermentation led to the increase in carbon dioxide as well. Okay, so now this was the favorable circumstance for mutation to take place. So now what happens, students? Because of mutation, this resulted in the formation of chromophores. You know what are chromophores? Colored structures. Yes, so inside the cell, because of that unfavorable condition which has been situated now. What is unfavorable? There is depletion of food, right? Then increase in carbon dioxide. So that will not support life. So the organisms, if they have to survive, they have to bring some favorable changes. Yes, so that led to mutation and resulted in the formation of chromophores. So these chromophores which were formed, chromo in the sense color, students. So these chromophores formed, they had the ability to what? They had the ability to trap the light energy and they converted into chemical energy. Okay, so now this is how autotrophs were formed. So the first formed heterotrophs, they got converted into the autotrophs. Got it? So due to the release of oxygen now, children, you could see that photosynthesis is taking place. These autotrophs, they trapped the solar energy, started converting it into chemical energy, and now they are releasing oxygen. So due to this, the primitive reducing atmosphere which was present initially, students, now this is gradually changing into the oxidizing atmosphere, right? So this condition, now the photosynthesis led to the oxidizing atmosphere. So now you could see that their oxygen started to increase in the atmosphere, right? So this is how Oparin and Haldane explained that initially, with the help of chemicals, the first cell originated, and then it further continued by the process of biogenesis. So the formation of this first cell led to a favorable atmosphere, right, which was favorable for the continuity of life. Hope you have understood the theory, children. And this theory of chemical evolution of life was strongly supported because it was experimentally proved also. So till here you have studied the theory of chemical evolution. Next we'll see that another two scientists, namely Stanley Miller and Harold Urey, they supported this theory by giving experimental evidence. So in the next module, let us see what is the experimental proof to support this theory of chemical evolution of life. Okay, so thank you all.